You ever have one of those mornings where you roll up to your own place expecting nothing but peace and quiet, only to find someone's drawn a battle line straight across your life? Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec. I'm Evan Thorne, and what I'm about to tell you is how I went from a guy who just wanted to sit by his lakeside cabin with a cup of coffee to the headline act in a full-blown war over land lies and a little thing called justice. So picture this. I pull my old truck onto the gravel drive expecting to see pine trees and glassy water, same as every year since my dad and I first built the dock with our own hands, except there, it was a gray steel fence running through the morning mist, ugly as a scar. I slowed to a crawl heart in my throat. Not some caution tape or orange cone, but real steel commercial grade green paint set in concrete padlocked tight. And a sign big as day, Private Lake Access Silver Pines HOA, members only. Trespassers will be prosecuted. I swear it felt like somebody had sucker punched me. My dock, my family's dock, now stuck out on the wrong side of that fence like a memory you can see but can't touch. Old signs gone too. All that was left were screw holes in the cedar posts staring back at me like bullet wounds. I saw heavy tire tracks snaking in from the old logging trail. Someone had come prepared. This wasn't a prank or some neighborly misunderstanding. It was a land grab, plain and simple. So what do? You grab your phone, call the county, and try to get someone who gives a damn. After the usual runaround, a cheerful clerk tells me, oh yeah, the new Silver Pines waterfront plan got approved back in January. Boundaries updated. You should have gotten notice. She emails me a map and I just about choke on my coffee. My property line now stops short of the water. Everything between the fence and the lake is labeled community managed space. Documents signed, sealed, delivered right before New Year's, while half the county's out for the holidays. I rush into town with my deed and the old '97 agreement that says the lake is public. Receptionist at the county office glances through my paperwork, shrugs, and points at the new map on the wall. That's what's on file now. Fill these out if you want to dispute it. She slides me a clipboard that reads like it was written by Kafka. I try mentioning the 1997 state agreement, and she just says, that's for our legal team. Might as well argue with a soda machine. By sundown, I'm back at my cabin, walking the new prison yard fence, testing the post, looking for a weak spot. Nothing. Every inch solid. There's my boat, my dad's old canoe, bobbing up on the other side, now trespassing on community property according to that sign. I took photos all angles, stored them in a folder called Evidence. Then I stood there a long time looking at that corporate font sign, thinking someone really thinks they can steal a man's land if they just file enough paperwork while he's gone. Next morning, frost on the windows, coffee in hand, and here comes trouble, a pearl-white Lexus crunching up the gravel. Out steps a woman, late 50s, helmet hair, sunglasses, clipboard heels sinking into the dirt. She marches up like a home inspector. Mr. Thorne, I'm Karen Westbrook, president of Silver Pines HOA, here to welcome you and provide your HOA packet guidelines assessment and your discounted initiation invoice, $3 and $200 up front, $600 a month after. I look at her like she's offering me a vacation timeshare at my own funeral. I'm not in your HOA, I say. She just laughs real gentle like I'm some lost child. Oh, we hear that a lot. But as per the new community map, your property is now within Silver Pines. All lakeside access is managed by the HOA. That includes dock regulation, water use, shoreline preservation. I cut her off, told her I've got a deed, got a state agreement, and the lake's been mine longer than her first McMansion ever went up. She just shrugs. Old agreements become outdated. Zoning evolves. Your absence during the review period was noted in our minutes. I tell her you built a fence on my land. She says, community perimeter barrier per the new lines. Then drops the big threat, daily fines, legal escalation, and as of now, you're in violation. There's a special kind of cold when someone tells you to your face that what's yours isn't yours anymore. After she left, I flipped through the HOA packet full of smiling faces, rules for swimwear dock paint colors, and a code book thicker than the IRS. My phone call to zoning gets me nowhere. Please refrain from tampering until this is resolved. The air in my kitchen just smelled like smoke and lies. I'm not a guy who likes to sit on his hands, so I pulled out my old Navy recon drone, charged it up, and launched it over the lake at dawn. From up there, you could see the insanity, a fence running a jagged line slicing off every non-HOA property from the water. My pier, my dad's canoe, all locked away like some kind of trophy. The drone caught everything: tire tracks, boot prints, even Karen herself late at night directing workers with headlamps, moving stakes further onto my side. Every second went to backup drives mailed to myself for safekeeping. But you know what's better than a camera? He witnessed. I found Todd, the old tractor guy from the Miller farm, showed him the drone stills. He remembered hauling equipment out here, paid in cash by that lady, said it didn't smell right, but money's money. Promised to sign a statement if needed as long as he stayed off Facebook. Then I called Elena, a sharp surveyor from the next county, and she showed up with her GPS gear before sunrise. We walked the line, checked every stone marker my dad set decades ago, flagged the boundary. 2 hours later, Elena confirms they'd pushed the line almost 18 feet onto my land fence and all. She prepped an affidavit, 3D overlays, the whole works. When I asked how this even got approved, she just snorted. Either someone's lazy or someone's in on it. That afternoon, I get a fat envelope, formal HOA violation, $18,000, in damages for unauthorized use of the dock, damage to perimeter lock, destruction of signage. Reads like a parody. Right on cue, the county calls. The HOA's filed a civil action, preliminary hearing set for next week. I spent the night prepping binders full of documents, drone video, Todd's statement. Didn't sleep a wink. At the courthouse, Karen rolls in looking like she's hosting a charity ball. Her attorney slides their official plat across the table. I calmly present the old deed, Elena's survey drone footage of nighttime construction, Todd's notarized statement. That map is forged, I say. Judge watches the drone video on the big screen. Karen in living color signing off plans in the dark, workers hammering away. Judge puts a hold on all fines, orders a freeze on any changes to the lake. Karen's lawyer asks for a recess. Outside, Karen corners me. You don't know who you're dealing with. I just tell her, good. Now I know what you'll lie about. Funny thing is, after that it got quiet. Too quiet. Until my internet goes out at 1:00 a.m. Cut cable boot prints in the frost, leading right to the old trail. My drone catches 2 hooded figures, one with bolt cutters. They sabotaged the HOA fence camera too. I hand the footage to the county sheriff this time, someone from the central office, not the local good old boys. Now we're in business. Next day, Elena calls HOA, filed another map, moving even more shoreline onto their side, days after the judge's order. Now they're not even trying to hide it. I call Leah Sutter, another landowner whose family's been here since the 70s. She's furious. That shoreline's been ours longer than Karen's had plastic surgery, she says. We team up, collect maps, meet over coffee, and it only gets worse. Then an anonymous envelope slides under my door, HOA emails. Karen plotting to absorb non-members without triggering litigation. Another one talking about fast-tracking maps through a county contact. Internal sabotage, backdoor approvals, the works. We start knocking on doors, talking to neighbors, some skeptical, some angry, all tired of being pushed around. Before long, we've got the Thornline Group 6 owners ready to fight back, evidence in hand. Turns out the county officer who signed all the new plats used to be on the HOA board, real conflict of interest. Judge hears our motion for emergency injunction, and when the HOA tries to submit their official survey, Leah points out the signatures are fake. Court adjourned, investigation deepens. Then, out of the blue, the sheriff's deputy hands me a report. Anonymous complaint accusing me of trespass, but the address listed is my own. It's a smear campaign trying to flip the story. We file ethics complaints, pile up evidence, and 2 days later, judge rules in our favor. All HOA actions paused pending full audit. But then comes the real kicker. State investigators confirm the plat filings were forged and fraudulently expedited money trail leading from HOA funds right into a consulting account tied to Karen's brother-in-law. Subpoenas fly, board members start flipping, and suddenly, Karen's not just losing a case, she's facing felony charges. At trial, Leah lays out the drone footage, the midnight construction, Karen's own words caught on tape. The jury doesn't even need to deliberate long. Karen guilty on all counts. Glay, the county official, indicted. Silver Pines, HOA, dissolved fences, ordered torn down property lines, restored restitution fund set up for everyone who got scammed. And me, I hung a new sign on my dock, property of E. Thorne. Public lake access preserved by law. Trespassers with fake maps will be famous. Sat out there one early morning with a rod and coffee, finally at peace. That old drone mailed it to the high school science department, let the next kid record the truth for once. So now I gotta ask, what would you have done if you rolled up to your family's land and found a fence where your shoreline used to be? Ever been caught in a fight where the rules keep changing and the deck's stacked? Drop your story in the comments. Justice isn't a given. You gotta build it plank by plank, sometimes under the radar, and sometimes right out in the open. And hey, if you ever think you're alone in the fight, just remember there's always someone watching. Share your thoughts on what justice really means, and don't forget to tell me where you're watching from.